Hi everyone, so today I want to talk about auto-scaling the application tier on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Typically in the three-tier architecture, this is the the area where your application connects to your database. So if you just see here, I have three instances of a Tomcat application server running on Oracle Cloud, and I will show you how I got that Tomcat server from the Oracle Cloud Marketplace shortly. So the first thing I did was I created an instance configuration, which is basically your base image. From there you can create an instance pool, which is just a pool of instances. So what I'm going to do now is just SSH into one of the Tomcat servers, and I'm going to start putting a load on that specific server. So that's going to trigger an auto scaling event, which I have created, and I will show you just after I do this test how you can do that. But this is just to simulate real life. So I'm just going to simulate, just going to download a stress package from the Yum repo, and I'm going to. So I've chosen to use the CPU as the auto scaling parameter. So if I'll just wait for this to download, and then I will start stress testing the CPU. So obviously you can put a limit on the amount of nodes to add. So I'm just going to do stress CPU, and I'm going to deploy 3 workers on the CPU just to drive that CPU up, and that should be reflected in my metrics explorer here on the Oracle Cloud dashboard. So let me just reload that there and see if it's coming up. So please bear with me now. At the moment you can do CPU utilization and also memory, as in RAM. So typically I like to do the CPU. So you can see it here in the first dashboard here. I'm actually going to query that. So let me just take that. My CPU, it was idle at the start, so just very, very small utilization, and now it's gone all the way up to 100%. And if I come back into my auto scaling configuration, so this is where you have to decide on what are you willing to tolerate. Basically your RPO and RTO at the application level. So Oracle is extremely strong at the database level, but oftentimes we don't think about the application level or the application server level, which sits below your web server. And of course you can put a load balancer, you can associate a load balancer with your auto scaling group, and your auto scaling group will just add servers to your backend set. So let me just go into the auto scaling configuration that I have created. So you can see here I'm basing the policy on CPU utilization. So at the moment I have said that if the CPU threshold goes over 85%, add 1 instance. So let me just throw that up to 2, and I just want to show instances being added based on that threshold. So you can choose a timeout and a cooldown period. I think the default is 300 seconds, but these instances should be popping up because I paused the video for a minute. Yeah, so you can see my so in my auto scaling configuration, I chose to add 2 web servers because I am not willing to let at the application level let anything go down. So I'm purposely adding 2 instances. So this is just a mission critical application which serves the web, or it could serve a web server on top. And obviously this integrates with the monitoring services, so you can create alarm definitions and also push those out maybe to your site administrator just to let him know that this is happening, so they can rest assured, like they don't have to do anything, but it's good to know what's actually happening. So you have automated your recovery, but it's good to know like why is the CPUs, why are they being hit so hard. So let me just go back into it and see if my instances are being provisioned. Yeah, so they're up and ready now at the moment, so very quick. 2.1, so that is 1 Intel Core with 15 gigs of RAM. So just going back to the image that I actually used. So I used Tomcat, and I got that off the Oracle Cloud Marketplace, which has over hundreds and hundreds of applications, VM shapes that you can use. So let me just go into that now to show you how I got it. And it's all it is just one Google search away. So let's just click on it now. And you will find a lot of WebLogic and kind of application web server types here that you don't have to download, very similar to the AWS Marketplace. So obviously there's so much here, and it's all levels of the stack from platform, application and infrastructure. So we're going to focus at the infrastructure level. There's a lot of security products here. So if you want to utilize a VPN image or something on a compute instance on Oracle Cloud, this is where you would go to get it. So I'm not going to search for Tomcat. Let me just use this one from Bitnami. So Bitnami is great just to get up and running really quickly. So you will get all the instructions on, and in one of my previous videos I showed image import export. So with this, all you have to do is import a custom image from that object storage URL that I'm going to insert here. And then obviously you have different ways, VMDK or OCI native. So this is going to be OCI native. And then there's obviously different modes to run, but by default this will run, I think it's in emulated mode by default. So from there, that's going to import. That will take about 5 minutes to import. So we can see, let me just test. So my new instance is running at CPU, so you can see my CPU utilization is very low. That's what I want, and I can put in a load balancer and direct customers to that new instance. So you can see it's up and running here. So I just wanted to show where all this information is kept. This just goes through network high availability on Oracle Cloud, and also things like load balancer and subnets and how you can evenly distribute the workload. So we focus specifically today at the application level. So that typically sits under the web server level. So load balancer, web server, app server, down to the database. But if you want to keep a constant connection to a database and scale at the application tier, this is a solution that you could look at. And obviously with Oracle, the database can be backed up and use DataGuard. So I thank you very much and hope to see you again soon.